Greetings and salutations, my name is JW608, and today I am playing StarMade, and we are getting back to the basics. And today I would like to talk about stations. Now I know the past few videos we've looked at stations, but we didn't actually talk about them. We used them, but we didn't really look at them or talk about them. So what is a station? A station is something that doesn't move. That's why it's a station. Well, how do you get a space station? Well, you press the P key to create a new ship/station, and this is a new space station. It says so right here. Enter a name. We shall call this DW's station random number. Uh-oh. I didn't like that. What's wrong? Oh, you can't have apostrophes in it. So we're just going to call it 608 station, whatever. There we go. And it gave us a block. Be very, very careful with your block. This is your whole station. If you delete it, tough. And you don't get a refund on your money. It cost 500,000 credits to build a station. I don't know why I have that number. Oh, because I built a couple stations off screen. All right. Preparing to film this, I built a couple stations. Anyway, in fact, they're over there. Anyway, talk about all that later. So what I would first do when building a station is put down a build block. What's a build block? A build block allows you to go into build mode. Well, that's easy. Why don't you just go to the core and hit the build mode button? Okay, but there is no core in a spaceship, so a space station. So we use the build mode instead. Oh, good grief. I'll get it right eventually. We use the build block instead. So the build block acts sort of kind of like a core and is very important on a station. And go ahead and flesh out your station real quick so you have less accidents. Deleting the whole thing by accident, don't do that, because you won't get your money back and you can't rebuild your station. I already said that. So now we have this big metal platform in space. What can you do with it? Well, you can do all types of wonderful things with it. Think of it as a spaceship that never moves unless you're in admin mode. In admin mode, you can actually move it around. For example, we're in this block. If I want to move it here, I hit admin warp and it just picks up the whole station and moves it. But that is not a standard gameplay feature. So a station, like I said, is basically a spaceship that doesn't move. It needs power, and it can use shields. So you need your reactors and your shields and everything we've learned about so far. All that applies, except there's a few things that are unique. As I said, it does not move. So you can add thruster blocks, but they don't do anything. And they'll never do anything other than look cool. So go ahead and use them as decorations because they're good for nothing else on a spaceship, space station. I'm going to call this thing a spaceship forever, aren't I? There's also a few other things. We talked about factories, like our basic factory here. Unless you have enabled it in the configs, you cannot put a factory on a ship. Now, there's a way to enable it, but base vanilla StarCraft? Good grief, this isn't StarCraft. StarMade is, does not allow that. I'm having problems with words today, apparently. Alright, so you can have factories on stations, which normally you can't have on ships. There's a few other idiosyncrasies with them, if you will. If we come down here to station, into reactor, let's see here, the mash chamber, you can have gravity here, which is a gravity module or gravity chamber that basically makes a forced gravity block around the whole station. And also you can get, where is it? Not power, is it logistics? Yeah, you can get chambers that increase the speed of factories and their power efficiency, as well as in the FTL stuff, you can set up warp gates and jump inhibitors and things like that. You cannot put a jump drive on a station. You can also build a shipyard on a station, but that is not really a basic. I would call that a little more advanced than our Back to the Basics series would allow, if you will. So, what do you do with a station? Well, a station is a great place to park a ship. Actually, I'm going to come down here to my templates, and 0 USD here is a standard, was a unified standard docking, I think that is. It's a rail docker and a standard rail, both pointing to the middle, and a door. Now, the space station cannot use the rail dockers. You can just take that off, and you can dock a ship here. Let's see. How about a let's park our guppy here. So now this guppy, its reactor is turned off and is using all the resources of this station. So stations usually are going to be fairly large, and you want them to support everything that has to dock to them. So they're going to need hefty reactors and shields large enough to cover docked entities. And this is basically a safer place to park. So, yeah, that's one thing you can use for a station. If you faction your station by putting a faction module on it, you can turn this into a home station. Oh, I can't do that. All right, so we're going to put that here. I would like to enter my faction signature. You can get your faction stuff from here. If you go to options, you can create a faction. I'm already in one. And then you can use this, then enter the faction signature. I want to make this my faction home. I already have a home base, but I've just changed it. So what that basically means is as long as my faction is active and still alive and around, this space station is invincible. And everything docked to this space station is invincible. So why do you have shields on it? Well, because the shields are an example, and there are certain circumstances in which your home station can lose its invincibility. So I like to have backup shields anyway. So this is a great place to park if you're on a public server, if you can find a public server. A home base station like this is an awesome place to park, because nobody's gonna, well, they might bother you, but they're not gonna have an easy time doing it. Let's see. There we go. Now we have this horribly lopsided building, and I hope that bothers someone. It's a great place to park. You can even stick an undetonator here. Undetonator, where are you? Undetonator. So now when you shuffle off your immortal coil, you'll respawn here. Oh, I'll respawn here. You won't, because this isn't your world. Anyway, think of it as a bed in Minecraft. So I have me a little home station. Typically, you'll have a little factory set up, your main cargo, things like that. And people often like to make them look pretty and all that good stuff. So that's a station. Many people will have stations like home stations, then they'll have a station for factory work, or a ship station or a shipyard, or they'll have a station, maybe they have a big battle or something, or this is contested territory, because everyone wants to come through here for whatever reason. You can put a station here and put lots of guns on it, or a shipyard to build more fighters to get into the battle faster, or a jump gate. You can do all types of things with systems, yes, but with stations, your imagination is your only limit, as with most things in StarMade. Typically, I'll use them as mining or factory bases. Usually, I'll have a big factory. Well, usually, back when I played survival, I'll have a big factory base, and then I'll have little factory bases, or little little bases where I can come and say I mine in this area and I drop them off here and I can switch out ships and come back to the main and all that good stuff. And warp gates are really important for when you want to travel a long way fast. So those are benefits of stations. You'll probably think of others. You even have trade stations. You can build a shop on them, but again, that's a little more advanced. So there's not a lot here with stations, and I was able to stretch it out for way too long. And I'm rambling. So it's a station. It's a ship that doesn't move, basically, and can have factories. Oh, before I go, typically you can only have one station per sector. I knew I was going to say something important. So one station per sector, unless you change it in the configs, and even then you can't build a station that's too close to something. For example, if I want to build a station here, it says you can't do that, dummy. Wait a minute. Yeah. Only one station per sector allowed here. I thought I had it set to 2. But if you're too close to something, it'll say, you know, you're like way too close to this. So for example, if we say go to the planet here, admin warp, and we hit P, yeah, let's build a station. Oh, did it? Oh. Um, it's not supposed to do that. Okay. Ignore that then. I guess you can put them anywhere you want. I don't know. It's only been playing this game forever. Uh, uh, StarMade, you never cease to amaze me. I have been JW608. This has been StarMade, and I'll do you cats later.